This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. It's Wednesday, October 2nd. I'm here with Al, Brandon, Lindsay. I am Tori. Happy Hump Day, everyone.
Happy Hump Day.
Happy Hump Day. Oh, very happy
I thought
about
you were
it.
actually wishing me something real.
No,
okay.
just that. All right, guys.
Just it's Wednesday.
The former Dallas cop Amber Geiger, who was found guilty yesterday of murdering her neighbor, is back in court today, and we will likely learn her sentence shortly. She faces, remember, 5 to 99 years in prison. Meantime, family members of the victim, Botham John, shared their victim impact statements. Here's what John's mother had to say.
My life has not been the same. It's just been like a roller coaster. I cannot sleep. I cannot eat. It's just been the most terrible time for me.
I just want to point out that Amber Geiger also has been, in the research, they found that she's been sending racist text messages, saying things like mocking MLK's death, saying things like, oh, my dog's, or her friend's dog's racist, so is she. And so I look at this and I want to tell this judge that this is a moment where you have to tell us that Black lives do matter. So this is going to be a point where you have to stand up for something and make this a very harsh sentence for this woman, because this is a message to all of us that do our lives matter? This man was innocent in his house. You can't be any more innocent. Yeah. You can't blame this on somebody with Skittles in their pocket or a hoodie on. He was in his home eating ice cream, sitting down.
What would make you satisfied? How much time, Lindsay? Because I feel your pain. I feel your anger. How much would make you feel that she's saying Black lives matter?
I think a minimum of 25 years. You killed somebody, and that's not. Is my life worth more than 25 years of your life?
Yeah, she broke into his home. Let's call it what it is. She broke into his home and shot him. So there should be some repercussions, no different than if she was there to steal something. She broke into his home and shot him.
Yeah, and those text messages just go to show how she feels or how she looks at Black people. So if you go into this house and you're saying you're seeing this Black man and you're yelling hands up, which the witnesses say they didn't hear, that's how you felt. And that's why you felt like you felt the need to shoot. So,
and it just shows you that Black bodies are constantly a threat. You know, just the presence of a Black man's body is a threat, and it's a problem. Yes. It's a problem. You shouldn't have automatically shot within seconds of walking in the wrong door.
Well said. Well said. Let us know what you guys think. DBL Nation, how much time would satisfy you? Drama on the campaign trail. Let's get straight to Kelly Schubert. Kelly, what's going on?
Tori, Bernie Sanders just had to undergo a procedure for an artery blockage. The presidential hopeful experienced some chest discomfort during an event yesterday, and when he went in for testing, it showed a blockage in one artery. Sanders had 2 stents put in, and his advisor says he is in good spirits. Now, Tori, all of his appearances have been canceled until further notice. I'll keep you updated.
I don't want to alarm anyone, but although they're kind of playing this down, this isn't good.
Yeah.
This is not good. Remember, Dick Cheney had 4 heart transplants or something like that. This is right at the peak time when you've got to have your stamina and 2 blocked arteries. I don't know, Al.
Yeah,
that's not a good sign.
I didn't like the until further notice. I thought that was a bad sign. I think that's their way of saying, like, you know, we're probably not gonna hear from Bernie for a while. And you know what? I don't want to.
I want him to be okay.
I would like him to be okay. And I mean, politics is more important. Bernie's life is more important than politics. So let's prioritize right now. He's been a great citizen.
And he's so passionate. You worry about him because he gets up there and he's like, you know, seems like always going off. And so you wonder if that stress had to do with.
But you take that always going off and then always having to be on the flight. And we talked about this earlier, Al.
We talked about it in the makeup room.
I mean, because I think about, you know, we travel every weekend for work. You're a stand-up comic. I do stuff for the New York Giants. And I just think about how I feel Monday when I come into work. I am drained. I am exhausted. And as soon as we leave here, when I finish the last show, I go straight home and I go straight to sleep.
Well, let's all give prayers, DBL Nation. Even if you don't like Bernie Sanders, make sure you give some prayers. Shoot them in the legs. That's what a new report is claiming the president suggested we do to migrants trying to cross the border. The New York Times reports that the president made several suggestions for dealing with the migrant crisis in a series of meetings back in March. He also suggested a border wall with a water-filled moat stocked with alligators or snakes. He also wanted the wall electrified with spikes on top that could pierce human flesh. So,
he basically wants Lara Croft's Tomb Raider.
Yeah, he's Dr. Evil.
Yeah, that's a very strange.
Right, so we're joking about this, and it's, look, what I wanted to bring up in this conversation is this. There is a Trump party and a Republican party, and this shows what I think so clearly is the Trump party, that he didn't even think this was a bad thing. You can't, when he says I'm going to go shoot someone on Fifth Avenue, he kind of thought you could in some ways. So I just want to ask you guys, do you think you're seeing a clear line of the Trump now and the Republican Party, and would you want to separate yourself from that?
I don't think this is the explosive thing that you feel that it is, right? Because we're taking
alligator moats. Go ahead.
Yeah, because we're taking this information without all the facts. All we have is one source named in an article out of a book that hasn't even come out. I think the New York Times, in order to keep its credibility, needs to pump the brakes. Release the book, let journalists read it, and then release the facts about it so we can all decipher how it makes sense. So I think that just saying this, they have no source attached to the alligator moat. They have no source attached to these fences that he wanted to build that are going to harm people.
I hear you, but
I just want to know who the people are, because say you got fired from a job, how would you behave? You might be like, oh, forget that whole employer.
Yeah, I understand
this could be anybody who worked in his White House.
And
look at what Omarosa did when she left. She loved him for years, went in his White House, and then, left the White House, went on a reality show. Oh my God, I had so much heartache over, I couldn't even live.
Omarosa is a whole other chapter that we could talk about, but I will say the New York Times interviewed more than a dozen sources, and if we don't hold the New York Times as reputable, at some point we can't trust anything, in my point of view. Funny how the New York Times was fine and not fake news before Donald Trump got into president, and now we have problems.
I don't think we need to look at the New York Times. We can listen to his words. He said I could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue. He said if, with the shooting comment that he made, that then I believe led to a shooting in El Paso. He uses violent language. This doesn't sound any different from that. I am not surprised. Let's do the next story.
Okay. Wow. Let's hear what you guys have to think. Do you believe in it? Do you not? We have a very strange story going on right now. A woman visiting the Bronx Zoo got inside the lion enclosure, and she's very lucky to be alive. Check out this video shot by fellow visitors. The woman can be seen dancing and waving her arms while the lion is just feet away, and by the look on the lion's face, he's not too sure what to make of it. Good thing he was not hungry.
Good thing he's not hungry. I'm upset with Mufasa right now. She's supposed to be dead. I'm sorry.
He showed restraint.
You are a lion. Forget street justice. This is jungle justice. You're supposed to hop on this woman and pounce on her, and it would have been a great
We're glad. Look, let's be honest.
That's what you get.
We're glad she's okay, but do you
are
think
we
this
really
is
glad she's okay?
Yes,
though?
because we don't wish ill on people from the show.
I don't wish any, but if people do something stupid like this,
okay, but here's my question: is this she doesn't have a camera, so is this a mental break, or is this a pics or didn't happen culture type of situation?
She's dancing.
I'm wondering if it's a mental break, but I'm also wondering why everybody who was recording, which was a lot of people, because I saw it all over Instagram, no one told officials or called the police.
Because everybody wants the
it's just like, oh my God, look at this funny thing, and like this woman looked like she's obviously has to be a little bit off to go inside.
Yesterday, Lindsay, the story we covered with the
meat cleaver.
No, not with the meat cleaver. With the models that were lined up, and that random person.
Chanel woman. Chanel show.
And I was like, that could be a very dangerous situation.
Yeah.
And people told me, calm down, it's not that big a deal. People are going to look at this and say, oh, well, there's no big deal. Everything's fine. It's fine until it's not. Yep. If somebody who's at work has to go into that lion cage, they're not putting themselves at risk.
Or put the lion at risk.
Yes. If you don't know how to hike and now you're on the side of a mountain and they have to do a dangerous rescue, you're putting somebody else at risk. We need to start really punishing people for this, because I've said this before, jail is a deterrent. And if you make an example out of this goofball, give her 2 years. I'm not about throwing people in jail, but if that it costs your son or your uncle their lives because they had to go in there and get him, you would feel very different. It goes from a prank to something very serious.
Throwing her in jail is costing me and other taxpayers our money.
But it'll help us in the long run, because it is a deterrent. The reason people don't rob banks is because you know you're going to get 20 years.
I get it.
If you got 2 months for trying to rob a bank, everybody be like, man, money's a little slow this month.
She's just lucky that was Mufasa, not Scar, because she would have been gone.
Do you think, she's now going to go behind bars, not over the bars?
There we go.
Behind bars are in a mental health institution.
Yeah, I do think she's having a mental break.
Because it has to be one or the other. One's really not funny, the other, you need help.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's just these pranks are funny until somebody has to put their life on the line because you were trying to get likes on your goofy page.
There you go. Let us know what you think. DBL's Live coming up. When life threw her a curveball, comedian Danielle Perez worked even harder to pursue her dreams. She's sharing her empowering story with DBL Nation. And you, the viewer, are our 5th host. The whistleblower drama is heating up, and President Trump wants to know who spilled the beans. But should that person have to reveal their identity? Your comments coming up next.
Hey there, DBL Nation. Happy Wednesday. We're happy to have you here with us today. We've got a great show coming up, a lot of good topics today. We've got a great 5th host, so please send us your thoughts on your DBL take on that. Let's go to the desk and see what's going on with our host. Hey, guys.
Even if it's not necessary.
What's going on up here?
What's going on? I don't have comments. Do you think you can help me?
I could definitely help you, Tor.
Oh, we have some here.
Yes.
Great.
I don't wish ill on no one, but she's dumb as hell on the lion.
Go up one.
Oh, what an idiot! I agree with Brandon. and she is supposed to be dead. But come on, guys, we don't want anyone dead.
But listen.
She should go to. Yeah, go ahead.
There's one thing if it's mental illness, and we don't know just yet. But if you're some Instagrammer and you're trying to get likes and you're trying to put yourself, and like Al said, other people in harm's way, I'm not wishing anyone to die, but I wish it would at least got scarred up a little bit.
I just don't. It's like if you make a decision to do something stupid as a YouTuber, that is not going to cost anybody else. I'm like all for it. Like those YouTubers that went to Chernobyl and took their clothes off in these radioactive. If that cost them in 20 years, that's a decision that they made. But when you start doing things like, I want to get likes on my page, so I'm going to go out to the middle of this frozen lake and jump and see how long I can stay underwater, and now somebody has to risk their life to jump in. That's when I have a problem. When your foolishness, because that's going to affect somebody permanently.
Oh, of course.
Because there's somebody's job to rescue you from the side of the mountain, to rescue you from the ocean, to rescue you from a zoo enclosure, you know?
Yeah, and you know, we were talking about how does she get over this barrier. This zoo, the Bronx Zoo, just last month in August, there was a mangrove snake, which is like slightly venomous, that was loose in the zoo. They had a whole like sign up warning that the people that go there that mangrove snakes, though mildly venomous, are not known to be dangerous to people. They are shy, timid, secretive in nature. But this is a snake that got loose. So how are people being able to jump in the lion cage and you're letting snakes get out? That's a whole other story.
Totally get it. That's a great. Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Fifth Host when we talk about what you're talking about. So President Trump is tackling this impeachment drama head on. He actually wants to interview the anonymous whistleblower despite policies that protect them from retaliation. So DBL Nation, should Trump's accuser be forced to come forward?
So Bob from Facebook says, it's a shame that everyone can make up a story from second or third hand information and we jump to impeach our president. That's a very dangerous, slippery slope. And I think that the president is really just asking if he can meet his accuser, which is something that's in the Constitution for anybody in a criminal case. Unfortunately, it's not in there for impeachment, so I don't know if he's going to be successful in this
endeavor.
But when Bob says make up stories, you mean like the birther claims? Like that? All right. Denise from Facebook says, no, it's intimidation. You know Trump wouldn't show up if the roles were switched. Trump is breaking the law. I encourage those who don't understand what the Whistleblower Act of 1989 is. Go to Wikipedia because it broke it down for me. It'll break it down for you.
But widespread protection, very high protection, because they are of the highest scrutiny.
Yes.
You're absolutely right, Brandon.
All right, Janice from Facebook says, how about the theory that there isn't really a real whistleblower? Just throwing it out there. I don't. It's just like we have to watch out for conspiracy.
Yes, Al.
I know they're fun, everybody. I know we all want to think we're James Bond 008. You're not. I think usually what you think is what's happening. It looks like he was on a phone call. Other people were on it. He said some things that were untoward, maybe illegal. We'll find out, but we'll do that through trial, not through conspiracy.
Yes, and
even though conspiracy's fun.
They are really fun. And remember, Pompeo today, Mike Pompeo, said he was also on that call.
Right.
So we're getting more facts to back it up. All right, Tracy Lee from Facebook says, good thing we have whistleblower laws. No. Tracy Lee, you are my girl. Yeah, so imagine you're a snitch in jail,
I think Tracy Lee would be a man.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I should not have assumed.
Yeah, binary pronouns.
I apologize. Tracy, I enjoy you. I will say this. If you're a snitch in jail, it's just like a CI, right? Like cops give them really strong protection because snitches will get killed. Well, with snitches.
You said that like a house mom in the car that kind of heard something.
Snitches get stitches.
Yeah, snitches get in trouble by their friends.
Right.
Okay.
But what a whistleblower is actually, and this is the best part about it, is supposedly the strongest of all patriots because they've gone against their entire clan and had to put themselves on the line. So people like Daniel Ellsberg with the Pentagon Papers, people like Woodward and Bernstein, Deep Throat, these people turned out to be amazing patriots for a country and they do deserve our protection. Sorry, go ahead.
All right, Robin from Facebook says, yes, he's not giving firsthand information, show your face. I don't agree with the show your face part, but the firsthand information we have to stand by until the trial comes to fruition, because right now all we have is a source telling us from another.
But they feel this way with the spies that we have all over the world, or like the informants that we have infiltrate, like the Hells Angels and things like that.
Right?
Like, there are people that are reporting on things that can't show their face.
New York Times says he's a male CIA agent, so interesting. All right, coming up on DBL, we talk with comedian Danielle Perez, how she turned heartache to hope with a lot of laughs along the way. Don't miss this incredibly powerful interview. She's so cool.
Well, I mean, it is. There is a negative thing because, but I mean, that's the way that people that are doing something wrong
get in big trouble.
continue to do that. Is they make it scary for people to come out.
Right.
And so I mean,
so it does have validity in the conversation.
If we expose this whistleblower, I know it's hard for people to believe, but there'll be a day that Trump is in an office, and the next person, whether it be male or female, if they're doing something wrong, we want somebody to be like, I can come forward without
questioning whether or not that person even exists.
Crazy mob showing up in my house.
I think this guy should be protected, or person should be.
No, it's a male.
A male should be protected for sure.
Yeah.
But I think that what the other part when he said this is a source, like people told the whistleblower the information, just let them do the investigation and summon all the people that told the whistleblower so we can just have the information, please.
We have Ray Z Vibe saying, if you're keeping score at home so far this week, we have witness intimidation, witness tampering, inciting violence. The articles of impeachment almost write themselves. However, Tony says Bernie made his goal of 25 million, so it almost killed him. And you know what's interesting is it is super stressful about being on the campaign trail and flying and everything you're saying. So I really think that it's not good for the heart, and 2 blockages is not good. Let us know what you guys think. Snitches get stitches.
Welcome back to DBL. We've all heard the term laughter is the best form of medicine. For one woman, she had no idea just how much she needed that till life threw her a curveball. We spoke with my friend and fellow comedian Danielle Perez about her incredible story. Now, we taped this interview yesterday, so some of the information at the end might not match up, but I want you guys to still check her out. You can find her on Diva Deluxe, but right now, watch her incredible story.
Danielle Perez was made for comedy.
I am a party girl. I was out at the club recently, popping bottles, popping wheelies, as you do.
But that was never part of her plan. Her life changed at just 20 years old. Danielle was crossing the street in San Francisco when she was hit by a streetcar. Her legs were amputated below the knee, and she spent the next month in the hospital recovering. Danielle struggled with depression and getting her life on track, until she started doing stand-up at open mic nights.
Honestly, I haven't seen acts of treason this flagrant since Kelly referred to herself as the second lead singer of Destiny's Child.
Her big break was in 2015, when she ironically won a treadmill on The Price is Right. Her reaction went viral, and she soon started gaining popularity with appearances on major TV shows like Jimmy Kimmel.
It's gonna be, I'm gonna cast it in bronze and have it as a trophy to my network television debut.
She uses comedy to share her story, but in return, it's helped her heal by finding her strength. Danielle is now a full comedian on tour and an advocate for disability rights, teaching people that her differences are actually her strengths.
10,000 hours ain't enough for the goal.
Yes.
All right. Yes, and joining us now, my friend, fellow comedian Danielle Perez.
Whoop, whoop.
Danielle, you are an example of making the best out of a bad situation. Welcome to Denver, first of all.
Thank you for having me.
How's the city treating you? We like it here.
I like Denver. Denver's great. Getting here was a big old pain, though.
Yes, I saw you edit yourself there too. Good job.
I did.
That's my girl.
The spicy girl. But, you know, the wheelchair airports, that's long roads, lots of travel. I hitched a ride on one of the little go-karts.
Yeah.
Nice.
To get here a little
And
bit
you were here
quicker.
for the High Plains Festival, the comedy festival, right?
The last night.
That's right. All right, my girl.
And you
All
had
right.
a really big year touring with Maria Bamford, which is awesome. What I want to talk to you about, first of all, your resiliency is so inspiring. So I'm just really honored to be sitting right next to you. Now,
I'm just sitting because Al was standing earlier and I was like standing really
Yes, it's going to be.
It's
I'm going to let you know. I'm going to let you know who runs this.
talk to us about that moment in 2015, your big break, Price is Right. How were you able to take that into a viral moment, capitalize on it, and do people still recognize you just from that episode?
Oh, well, I mean, it was just so ridiculous. Like, you can't write or script that. It's crazy. I was so shocked that everyone else was acting like it was business as usual. I'm like, this is pretty nuts. This isn't normal. But, I mean, yeah, people still recognize me. I was out at a bar recently, and a guy was like, were you on The Price is Right? That was 5 years ago.
Well, you're a light that people remember, absolutely.
Yes.
So Danielle, when you're doing comedy, you're not just talking about your disability. You're also a strong, independent Latina woman.
Yeah, she don't need no man.
That's right.
Unless there are 3 flights of stairs.
Yeah. I was going to ask what's the audience reaction, but I think we get what the audience reaction is. How does the audience receive you?
They laugh. You know, I'm normalizing my body and my life experience, and I think that if we can all laugh at something, we can understand it. And you don't see women like me on stage joking a lot, but you can see me and you can laugh and you're like, all right, I get it. She's kind of wild. She's a little crazy.
Yeah.
We're all kind of wild and crazy.
I think it's healing and cathartic too, just like watching you. What are your future goals? What's next for you? I'm sure your fans out there and our DBL viewers want to know.
Oh, doing everything, writing, acting, being on TV, taking Al's job here.
See, this is why I said one segment and she goes. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, well, if speaking of future goals, you can see us tonight in the future. Yes, catch us at Oscar Blues in the Buzzard Room. We're going to do my girl Janae Burris' show at 9:30 tonight, right here in Denver, Colorado. So come out and catch her before she vanishes back to LA. So come see her tonight.
Yes.
Are you going to come back?
I will come back.
Yeah, she's going to take your job.
I'll be back.
I'm just like, I'm trying, because you're staying with me again.
Yeah.
All right, no hotels. That's where we are right now. Your
No, I love it.
family.
He's got a view of the mountains.
Yes, your DBL family, so you're here.
Hell yeah.
Thanks, girl. I love you.
Thank you. This is fun, you guys.
It almost seems like an intervention is about to start. And your mom's back there. Thanks, Danielle. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Jaleel, what's up, man? This is Al Jackson from Daily Blast Live.
What's up, Cat?
We did a podcast together a couple years ago.
I remember that, man.
Your dad picked up the phone and started talking to somebody and gave you the phone.
You know, fans are bold. They called right up to the room, and, you know, they caught us at me being age 12 and my parents not knowing up from down. And my dad handed the phone. My mom just like, what the hell is wrong with you? Handed him the phone to a perfect stranger.
That's a beautiful thing.
I'll never forget that, man.
I've been watching the show, the Parent Trip, and it looks like you really stressed your mom out.
You know the best part about a bald person? You can see the sweat on the top of their head.
What do you think the worst part for her was?
The worst part for her was going up in the hot air balloon. She definitely is deathly afraid of heights.
So we are at 5,700 feet.
Oh, no. That's good enough.
We're going to go higher.
That's
gotta go
good
higher.
enough.
So getting her in that hot air balloon was took a little coercion. She's a lot braver than I thought, though, man.
It just seems like it's not made of strong material. It looks like the kind of stuff that you would make furniture you wouldn't feel comfortable sitting on.
You know what? I got no problems with hot air balloons. I love hot air balloons. The beekeeping stuff, for me, that was the one that got to me, because in my mind, these bees were definitely getting inside my suit.
Exactly, and then you don't want to be the famous guy that dies from bees. You don't want to be that guy.
Oh, man, come on, man. I mean, they're this close to you, man. They're all over your mask, and, you know, that was where her bravery kicked in far above mine.
Right there with the little red head on the top right there.
She doesn't have a name yet. What we gonna name her?
Gail.
Gail.
Everybody's talking about it. We're seeing all these shows being rebooted from the 90s. Would you ever want to come back and do Family Matters as well?
I don't really see that show coming back, man. I love it. I got a 10-year-old daughter now, man. Life has changed, you know.
Could you ever see doing like a show with her? I think that'd be really cool. See a little father-daughter connection.
Oh gosh, my daughter doesn't do anything on cue. I think that's the issue we need to work past first.
You guys can all catch The Parent Trip Thursday nights on BYU TV. Jaleel White, awesome as always. Thank you for joining us here on DBL.
Nah, thank you for having me, bro.
Welcome back to DBL. We have a really important news. SOS, SOS. Last night, the Jonas Brothers came to Denver, and our producer, Angelica Lombardi, was lucky caller number 25 and won backstage tickets. Here she goes for a meet with Kevin, Joe, and Nick. So, ladies and gentlemen, she joins us now. Angelica! The men were you a sucker and were you burning up?
I was a sucker. I got a solid 10 seconds with them, but it was the best 10 seconds of my life.
Wow. Now, how many times did you actually call the radio station? Be honest.
Probably at least 200.
There she is with them. What was your?
It's been 10 years since the band has been together.
And you're being 100% serious right now, right?
100%. I love you.
We love you too. Love you too. She's talking to Jonas Brothers. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Love you. Bye, guys.